As round 6 of Red Bull Global Rallycross braves the sweltering shores of Daytona Beach, everyone is chasing points leader Nelson Piquet Jr.
We need to do everything we can to win a championship, scoring as many points as we can every weekend.
While taming this technical track, teams also battle the blazing Florida sun.
This is the hottest I've ever been in a car.
We've seen temperatures upwards of 120 degrees.
I just want to die. It's too hot.
As temperatures soar, tempers flare.
It was a good fight, pushing hard.
When I finally got beside him on the jump, he just tried to push me off. I don't like this driving.
From the world centre of racing, this is Red Bull Global Rallycross Daytona. Welcome to Daytona International Speedway. There has been so much history written at this place over the years, but today, even more history will be written for the very first visit of Red Bull Global Rallycross to Daytona. However, we're in the middle of a heat wave, and everybody's talking about the heat. The championship leader at the moment, Nelson Piquet Jr., he's from Brazil, and even he's having a bit of trouble trying to keep cool, together with the man chasing him in the championship, Scott Speed. He's won 2 races already, and he was trying to keep cool yesterday with a fan. However, Ken Block, he was doing it, well, very coolly in a little paddling pool at the back of his service area. My name is Toby Moody. Tommy Kendall alongside me. We've been to some racetracks all over the world, but I've never felt heat like this.
Well, summertime in Florida is hot, but this is a whole nother level. And I don't know about you, but when I get overheated, I get irritable, my temper gets short, and I tend to make some poor decisions. Now, you go into an environment that's as intense and hostile as the intensity of global rallycross. It's intense anyways. Temperature short, patience is in short supply. Add heat to that, whole nother story. How hot is it exactly? Right now it's about 94 degrees without the humidity. Track temperatures in the hundreds. In-car temperatures almost 20 degrees hotter. Add some Nomex, still air, and so forth, and it's going to be the cool heads that can prevail that are going to win today.
Thanks, Tommy. Let's have a look at this racetrack here at Daytona.
It might look small compared to Daytona International Speedway, but it's the longest GRC course of the year. That start box into turn 1, not the normal bottleneck, giving guys a chance to get sorted out, but it gets really tight turn 2 at the start of the dirt section, turn 3. We got that big jump, 300 dump trucks full of dirt in here, and that's where a lot of the action's been happening. Back onto the pavement for turn 5 into a very technical section through 10, and then starting with the longest straightaway of the year, 1,000 feet, where these GRC cars really stretch their legs. The Joker is actually a little bit bigger time difference than we've seen, and it's playing into the strategy, probably a second and a half quicker when you take the Joker lap.
So that's the course, but what is going to happen on this mile-long racetrack today? We're going to have 2 heats where the top 3 will always advance. Those who don't advance will automatically go through to the LCQ, the last chance qualifier, and those top 4 there will make up the back of the grid for a 10-car, 8-lap finale, where we will see 50 points being given out to the winner. And nearly 50 points is the gap that Nelson Piquet Jr. has in the championship at the moment over second-place man Scott Speed. But Piquet Jr. hasn't won a race so far this year. Speed has won 2. Steve Arpin is currently 3rd in the championship. This is the longest course of the year, and we caught up with Steve Arpin for the GoPro course preview.
Hey everyone, I'm Steve Arpin. We're here at Daytona, so why don't we go give all you guys GoPro course preview. Here we go. Off, we're going to be up to 3rd, 4th gear maybe. Some guys are going to take the Joker here on the inside, first lap. This is a regular lap around the course here. This is like a 3rd, 4th gear corner, hard off this, all the way up to 5th gear. We're going to come into a 180 tight, all the way down to 1st gear, half dirt, half asphalt. Gets really slick here. Down here in Florida, all they have is sand, so there's no grip on this. We're just pedaling these things. All sorts of handbrake right there, getting around that. We got a big jump here, but we have no grip getting up to it, so we're trying to do everything we can just to get as much speed as we can. Down here, it's going to get rough. We're all as hard as we can, shutting down all the way to 2nd here. A quick shift down to 1st right here, back onto the asphalt, but it's covered with dirt, so we're sliding all over the place. Now we're coming into a slow technical section up here. Cars are loose. We got a hard left right here into a tight 180 hairpin right here. All sorts of handbrake, getting it turned around. Now we're just going to try to be smooth through here. 3rd gear, we're going to start now. We're wide open all the way, full throttle up to 6th gear, 130 mile an hour. And right there is a lap of your GoPro course preview.
Heat A at Daytona got underway a few moments ago, and what a race it was. When the green lights came on, they charged down to the first corner. 3 people took the Joker for the first time. The pole position man, Weeman, together with Arpin and also Patrick Sandell. Everybody else keeping their Joker safely in their pocket. There was bumping and boring at the second corner between Sandell and Arpin. In the meantime, Weeman had the lead at turn 3, but not for long.
And Weeman looks like he was heading for another, or a sweep of the weekend. All of a sudden, the car comes to stop. Top 3 stack up on the inside. Lassick and Millen go around scot-free on the outside, still both having their Joker. Reese was able to get around him using the Joker on the very next lap.
So the battle for third position was between the Ford Fiestas of Sandell and Weeman respectively. The Swede and the Finn battling to see if they could guarantee themselves a place in the 8-lap final later today. However, as they charged through the dust, battling that out, the leaders were Millen and Lassick in first and second place respectively. Sandell nearly lost it on the very last corner, but Millen got his Hyundai through to the final with a victory ahead of Bucky Lassick. Third did go to Patrick Sandell. So it was Millen, Lassick and Sandell. Johnny Weeman, Arpin, Morrow and Gilmore, they'll go to the LCQ.
Reese, we saw some contact on that hairpin turn between Patrick and Johnny. How were you able to capitalize on that?
You know, the smart decision for the weekend has been to not play the Joker straight away. This car is so good under braking in turn 1 and turn 2 before you get onto the dirt. I was just like, let those guys sort themselves out, capitalize on staying on the main track and use the Joker later. Didn't even have to until getting by Bucky, and that was a great, clean race.
We'll see you in the final, Reese Millen.
Next up here at Daytona, we've got 2-time Global Rallycross victor already this year, Scott Speed, together with the championship leader at the moment, Nelson Piquet Jr., when we come back. A view down on the world-famous Daytona Beach, host to land speed records in the 1920s and 30s. And now, well, Daytona is famous for the NASCAR racing.
The heat soaks up through all these hot engine parts, and there is no airflow.
And there is no airflow at all. They're wrapped up in 3-layer fireproof overalls. Some of the guys have got air conditioning within their crash helmet, but not all of them. We're riding on board there with Scott Speed. He's second in the championship at the moment with his Volkswagen with Andretti Rallycross. When the red lights go out, wait, and then we'll go green. We're racing here at Daytona. Bad start from Isaacson. He's in real trouble. Block takes the Joker for the first time, together with Nelson Piquet Jr., together with Scott Speed and Isaacson. So they've used up their Joker right from the word go. And just as we saw in the earlier heats yesterday, Tommy, Ken Block hits the front.
I think there might be a problem with Speed. It looks like his car didn't turn.
Oh, he's had a big hit to the front of Speed's car. The bonnet is up. Good call. The front right of Scott Speed's car's in trouble. And so is Ken Block. Oh, Ken Block was leading, and he's in the barrier on the left-hand side, which now means that Piquet Jr. leads the race. There's carbon fiber flying off the car. I think that was Isaacson who's battling with Austin Dine, but Dine has gone through. I said he can always give you a turn up for the books. He started in 6th position, and Dine is now 2nd.
And also, I believe Dine and Faust did not take the Joker, so they still have that in hand. You know, the strategy is evolving. Millen figured it out quickly, but I think more and more guys, because so much happens when you transition to dirt, you're wise to probably save it till later.
Now the Joker has been taken with the graphics up top. The Joker's gone to colour, and as Austin Dine takes the Joker, he's a little bit hesitant on the way into the right-hander. You're only allowed to take the Joker once in this 6-lap heat. We're on board with Austin Dine.
podium finishes in 5 races. Has not had a great weekend thus far, but looking clear track ahead of him, and looking if he can just keep it between the grass, so to speak, could transfer right in. And Scott's speed to the garage area.
So speed, no chance at all of getting through to the final, guaranteed in this heat. He's going to be in the LCQ that'll be coming up later. Meanwhile, this is the battle for 3rd position. At the top of your screen, it's Sverre Isaksson, the Norwegian, battling with Tanner Faust, the champion of Global Rallycross back in 2011 and 2012. It's an important battle because whoever is 3rd will go through to the final. Whoever is 4th will go through to the LCQ.
And notice in the graphic, Tanner Faust's joker is not colored, meaning he still has that one. And so here he goes. He's heading for the inside. He needs to clear Isaksson.
He's taken that shortcut. It's about 1.5 seconds, 2 seconds quicker, and immediately he goes up a position. He's ahead of the flying Norwegian. He's up into 3rd position. I remind you that still leading this Heat B is Nelson Piquet Jr. from Austin Dine, from Tanner Faust, who's just taken that 3rd place with the VW Polo. Oh, and the Subaru has a problem as well. What is it around some of these hairpins for some of these guys? Is it that the engine goes off too low? Is it below tickover?
I think it might be. And some of the guys, I've been hearing them clutch in there, but that's almost the exact spot he stopped in the heat yesterday.
So, we're hearing from race direction through our headset that there might be an investigation between Scott Speed and Ken Block at the beginning of the race. And in fact, Nelson Piquet has been given a penalty. He's going to have to do a stop-and-go penalty. That's what we're hearing. So the leader of this race is going to have to do a stop-go penalty. Wow, this is full of drama here at Daytona.
Well, and the question, will it be a true stop-go, or will it... in past, they had to wait until the field had cleared. Because he's more enough ahead, he could probably still get back running again and maintain his transfer spot.
So it's under review according to the graphic. Let's see what happens. Let's see if he has to do a stop-go as he takes the jump once more. Perfectly timed. The poise of the Ford Fiesta absolutely spot on. And Nelson Piquet Jr. is driven around the 2.5-mile oval here at Daytona, but this is something completely new for him. Hard on the tarmac, hard on the asphalt, around the narrower part. He flicks it around the tight hairpin over the far end. Now he makes his way around the island corner.
Here's the penalty box.
So he has to come in, stop, gets the go, and away. And it's going to be close for 3rd position. As Tanner Faust goes through, he's going to slot into 3rd position, I reckon. Yes, he does. So that now means that Austin Dine leads from Tanner Faust, from 3rd position man, Nelson Piquet Jr. All is not lost.
Well, then get ready for the controversy, though, because the penalty was earned by wrecking Ken Block on the start. He's underway even after the penalty, well in front of Ken Block. He's going to transfer. Ken Block is not. So this one might not be over.
So Ken Block is in 4th position. They go past the stricken Subaru that has been there for a couple of laps of Sverre Isaksson, and is this an opportunity? We're riding on board with Tanner Faust in 2nd place. He could go through. That's a big slide from Austin Dine. He just about gets it all back together again. All arms and elbows.
Got it overcooked a little bit, but Austin Dine, if I'm not mistaken, he actually used Sverre Isaksson's bumper and actually clipped the bumper going by the parked car of Sverre Isaksson.
Austin Dine, he's had a 4th position at Austin at the Circuit of the Americas when he was part of X Games earlier this year. And he's leading this B heat and guaranteeing himself a place in the final. But oh, Faust, oh, massive spin. He goes off and he's going to have a big hit into the tires. What happened there?
I think Austin Dine going to the brakes early might have caught him out, and he whipped the wheel left and could not. So now the plot thickens. He's going again, still in 3rd. Needs to hold Ken Block off as they take the white flag for the last lap.
And if you look behind, you might see a glimpse of Ken Block. It's that close. That is the difference between them. Austin Dine still leads. This is mental stuff, and we're only in the heats. This is brilliant.
What was that I said about heat making guys lose patience and not make great decisions?
Well, you're absolutely spot on. When we started the program, the action is red hot here on this 1-mile global rallycross racetrack. Still leading, though, is Austin Dine. He's got just over half a lap to go. At the top of your screen is still 3rd position man. That is Tanner Faust. Look at the front of that car. It's all bent up. Let's hope that the cooling is not too effective. It might blow the engine for later. Ken Block, he's managed to get going, and he's fourth at the moment as we come into the final corner. Dine is going to go through with a brilliant victory. He started last on the grid, and he wins. Thumbs up for Austin Dine's crew, ahead of Nelson Piquet Jr. Third is the VW Polo. That is Tanner Faust ahead of Ken Block. What drama can we get in 6 laps?
What is going on with Block? He is hot. That's what he's doing there. He's showing that he is not pleased with what transpired. Now, that's like Days of Thunder kind of stuff. People always say, what do you think of that movie? I said, there was nothing realistic about the rail cars, but you have a guy wrecking his car huge, still transfers.
Well, we've commentated on a lot of motorsport all over the world, you and I, but that was something else to unfold here at Daytona. This is the result. Austin Dine wins from the back of the grid ahead of Nelson Piquet Jr., who had a stop-go but got second, and Tanner Faust spun, went off, hit the barrier, and still got third. Block, Isaacson, and Speed will go through the LCQ. Now, this is the first lap. What happened? Did Piquet nudge Block?
Yeah, he was just pushing on the rear bumper. It just rotated him far enough that even the all-wheel drive couldn't pull him straight.
And then Tanner Faust.
See, the braking, he got caught out by Austin Dine braking earlier than he thought.
And very lucky indeed that those tires were there and not more damage took place to the VW Polo. Welcome back here to Daytona. Now, Scott Speed got put out with some damage in his heat. He's got to make it to the LCQ grid, and this was about as close as it could possibly get. Look at the front of that car. It's held together with tape.
Last chance to the last chance. I mean, he barely is making the grid.
And this is what happened. He hit the back of Ken Block in turn 2 of his heat. Look at the whole front of that car, completely stoved in, and he took the option to not continue and pull into the pits to give his Andretti Rallycross guys the best amount of time to get it all sorted. Later on in the heat that we've just seen, this was the yellow VW Polo of Tanner Faust, just narrowly missing the back of Austin Dine and hitting the tyre wall. He was lucky to get away with less damage.
It was some rough heats for that Volkswagen crew.
Millen has gone through with Lassick and Sandell, guaranteeing themselves a place in the final, together with Austin Dine, Piquet Jr. and Faust. The winners so far have been Miller and Dine.
It certainly is red hot out there, Austin. Tell us how difficult it is to maintain in that dirt section there.
That was really hard, especially with Isaacson block in that area. I tagged him a few times. It's just so loose out there. They just water the dirt so much. But I'm just amped that this team works harder than any other team in the paddock. We're in a car that hasn't been developed in 4 years. It's been falling apart, and they've been fixing it about 10 times this weekend, fixing the engine. And to win a semifinal like that's like a win for us. Now we just get to have some fun, try to get the car working. The power steering went out.
Well, he's heading to the final again. The fourth, 1 of 4 to make it to the final this season.
In the meantime, we are on the grid, and this is the Royal Purple grid. We've got Johnny Weeman on the left-hand side. He's on the pole position together with Ken Block in the middle and Steve Arpin on the right-hand side. It's Fords all across the front. Then on row 2, we have got Sverre Isaacson, Scott Speed with that repaired car, and Pat Morrow with his Chevy. And then at the rear of the field, we've got the Kiwi, Emma Gilmore, a runner-up in the New Zealand Rally Championship, and she is driving the Hyundai Veloster, teammate to Reese Millen. Now, this is going to be a 4-lap LCQ. They've been sitting in the car for some time, and you were talking about the heat earlier, Tommy, but I cannot imagine what it's like when you kit it out with all your stuff inside the car with no windows open.
Well, these cars have all raced, so everything's hot. The transmission, the oil, the fluids, and that is all just percolating up through the cars while they wait for the green.
10-second board at the front of the grid. I remind you, it's a little bit shorter than the heats at only 4 laps, but the top 4 of these 7 will progress. Listen to the noise as they get underway and charge down to the first corner. Weeman's surely going to go right. Block cuts across his nose. Weeman goes through together with Block, who leads. Ken Block with 43. The YouTube sensation hits the front as he hard is stomping on the brakes into turn 2 from Weeman, from Isaacson, from Gilmore from the back of the grid. What a great start she's done.
And so that next group of cars with Speed and Arpin did not take the Joker, so that's the real battle. You see Speed slide in front of Arpin, and he's going to try to get close enough to Emma Gilmore that he can play the Joker and get around into that last transfer spot.
They go off the dirt. It's about 30% dirt around this mile-long circuit on the infield of Daytona International Speedway. Back onto the asphalt. Now, it suits some people like Scott Speed. He's always had his racing career on asphalt.
Yeah, but he's taken these global rallycross cars quite well. He won his very first outing last year. First time ever in one of these cars. Only two-time winner this year. And he does do better on the paved sections. Really, really smooth and a lot of finesse. But obviously, he's able to keep pace in the dirt stuff as well. He is all over Emma Gilmore.
Rushing past our camera on the edge of pit wall there. Ken Block rushed past at 124 miles an hour. He was a clear 4 miles an hour quicker than everybody else in practice and qualifying yesterday. So it's still Block that leads from Weeman in second place. Isaacson in third. And Arpin is in fourth. He will go through.
So Arpin used his Joker there, and it was critical that Speed get around Emma Gilmore, which he did. Still has his Joker in play, but he's got to suck up now to the back of Steve Arpin to try to get into that last spot. There's Speed. This is the battle right here between these two guys for the last transfer spot in the last chance qualifier.
Now we are on board with Scott Speed. We're in fifth position at the moment with the Andretti Rallycross Volkswagen Polo. It's a transfer position if he could squeeze past Steve Arpin, but Arpin is right behind Scott Speed in the championship at the moment on 169 points to Speed's 185. But the only math that Scott Speed needs to do is to get ahead of that Ford Fiesta. Here we go for the Joker. This should surely work for Speed.
And this is critical. This is second and third in the championship, so you see how much time the Joker, a little bit bigger time difference this weekend. So now he's in front. Now Arpin is third in points, but faced with maybe, not, unless the car in front of him has trouble, not making it into the final.
Well, it's boiling hot here in Florida at the moment, but when you're going through that dust, it's like you're racing in the wet. There's so much spray.
And they were surprised that the sandy soil would also have dust. You would think it'd be one or the other.
And that's really kicked up into their eyes. It's battering the front of their cars. I hope that the cooling is going to be okay for the front of that VW Polo and that it doesn't get itself too hot for Scott Speed. Meanwhile, Ken Block, let us not forget that he is leading this race and he is way out in front. Well, I say way out in front. He's been chased down by Johnny Weeman there as they go past our camera at 124 miles an hour. There is Isaacson. There is Speed with the Subaru and the Polo respectively. Hard on the brakes is Isaacson. Doesn't look as steady on the brakes as many other cars, that Subaru. It's had a bit of a battering so far this weekend.
And look at that 7-Up Volkswagen Polo. That car looks like it's been through a war. We're not even in the final yet.
Last lap being started. They've seen the white flag. Oh, this is close. Will Scott Speed get the undercut as Isaacson has a tighter corner to do? Theirs is going to be very close indeed as Block leaps over the top of the jump. And in the background, Isaacson still holds third position, but Scott Speed is in real trouble because he has got Steve Arpin right up behind him. There it is. Speed lost time coming out of that left-hand hairpin.
As he was making that move, I'm like, what does he have to gain? Obviously, you get more points, and Arpin's off.
And Arpin's in trouble as well. He's had to take to the grass. Drama and action. And still, Weeman is battling to try and see if he can get ahead of Ken Block as we've got half a lap to go here in this last chance qualifier. It's quick. Oh, Block is nearly off as he comes past our commentary position. He was nearly drifting it too far. In the meantime, Arpin is out, but in the meantime, it's going to be the checkered flag that he's going to get taken by Ken Block. What a brilliant race, battling with Weeman right until the line. Isaacson gets third. Scott Speed gets fourth position right at the checker. Fifth is for Emma Gilmore. Goodness me, what a massive moment Ken Block was having, but no, such bad luck for Steve Arpin. That's a big retirement, Tommy. He's third in the title chase.
Well, and I'd like to see some replays to find out. He and Scott Speed were in very close proximity before the camera cut away to the leaders, and so it'd be interesting to see if there was contact between those two and if maybe there's going to be any sort of official review.
Ken Block will go through to the final here at Daytona together with Johnny Weeman, Sverre Isaacson and Scott Speed. It's going to be a cracker of a final. Now this is how the Red Bull Global Rallycross final is looking. Reese Millen from Bucky Lassick, Sandell, Dine, PK Jr., Faust, Block, Weeman, Isaacson and Speed are all through. The last 4 getting through in the LCQ. Scott Speed, he's second in the championship, and it was very close for him to even get in the final.
Scott, you barely made it into the final. How confident were you heading into the LCQ that you get to the final?
Yeah, I got plenty of confidence in what we can control. We've been the fastest car here again this weekend, but I don't have any confidence in what everyone else does. You know, you can't control when you get wrecked and when stuff happens outside your control, and that seems to be a lot this year. So just keep doing what we're doing.
Car gonna make it?
We'll see. It made that one, so it's obviously not 100%, but it'll make it.
Not 100%, guys, but he is going into the final. Back to you.
And in that final, we will see if Nelson Piquet Jr. will keep a hold on his Global Rallycross Championship lead. He's the son of a 3-time Formula One world champion. His father, Nelson Piquet, won the title in 81, 83 and 87. So how did Junior get into racing?
Well, in the beginning, you know, I lived in Europe with my mom, and when they both decided for me to go to Brazil, that's where I got introduced to go-karts. So I was about 8 years old. I just wanted to drive, and that's where my father saw the passion in me. It was not because of the family heritage or, you know, the whole family history. It's more, oh, the kid doesn't want to get out of the go-kart. He wants to drive the whole day. Well, obviously, with my father, was the experience he has, you know, he could have helped me a lot. But always in the first few steps of something new, he was always really close, and then he kind of let me go, and I did my own thing. It helped me to mature, and, you know, I ended up going to England when I was 16 and won the British F3 Championship when I was 17. I think me and a few other drivers, we've had a background where we play a little bit safer, you know, and that's paid off. You know, we haven't won a race, but we are leading the points by quite a good margin. So are we here to win race or win a championship? We're here to win a championship. That's scoring as many points as we can, being as consistent as we can every weekend. Ford obviously supplied us was a great car. That's why we're leading the championship. Races are very hard. You know, it's very demanding on the cars because of the jumps, with the temperature, and I know the Fiesta is going to be good for the whole race. We can push from beginning to the end, and we haven't had any issues till now, so that's been very important for me.
We have had some drama here so far today at Daytona International Speedway for our very first experience of Red Bull Global Rallycross here in Florida. The finals are coming up soon. This is round 6 of this year's Red Bull Global Rallycross Championship, but on September the 20th and 21st, we've got a double header from Los Angeles, and then the week after, we're going up to Seattle, and then the season finale at Las Vegas to make it the 10 rounds that we will have this year. And what a round we're having here at the moment, here at Daytona. Here is Patrick Sandel's Cobalt Ford Fiesta just being wheeled out. He's getting ready for his final. He's a junior world rally champion already, but he's going to try and keep cool down there in the heat. There are many ways you can make your car at home similar to these high-performance GRC cars. For more on that, let's get in the zone with Kristen Kenny.
Race cars use high-performance spark plugs like these that stand up under extreme conditions. They're vital to a car's performance, and the first thing mechanics check when the engine isn't performing at its best. Even street cars at home need to change the spark plugs every couple years, because if they aren't working properly, that could cause strain on the ignition system, and that isn't good. So these spark plugs you see that our mechanics use, you can use on your car at home. It's a good thing to stay on top of. It's easy, and while you're at it, make sure to check the wires as well.
Now, a moment ago, we had the Global Rallycross Lights final. Mitchell de Jong leading the title chase. He started from pole position with his 300 horsepower car, and alongside Jeffrey Sykes, they had a bit of a battle through the first corner. It was great racing and a great chance to see the future stars of Global Rallycross. Mitchell de Jong, he had an amazing 11-second gap when he crossed the line to therefore extend his championship lead. Next up, getting second place was Alejandro Fernandez, and Tyler Benson in the number 60 car run by Reese Millen Motorsport got his first ever podium in third position ahead of Blake Fuller and Jeff Sykes. A glimpse into the future, just as we've seen Johnny Weeman getting ready to come up into the big class in years before. Now this is a quick glimpse of Scott Speed together with Reese Millen. They are trying to keep cool down there in the paddock as we're looking forward to the finale of round 6 of Red Bull Global Rallycross. Next up is Los Angeles, a full weekend of the high-speed action-packed racing of Red Bull Global Rallycross. It begins September 20th here on NBC. Here at Daytona, we're in the middle of a heat wave, but the fans have tried to keep cool out there in the grandstands as they've been waiting patiently for the start of this Rallycross final. We've had a couple of people dropping in as well, courtesy of the Red Bull Air Force. What a perfect landing they made in front of all the VIP guests. Look at the speed. The question is, Tommy, did they take the Joker lap?
They did not. They saved it for later, like would be my advice.
That's a good call. And they got a big round of applause. Meanwhile, we're on the royal purple grid for the final. On the front row, on the pole position is Reese Millen with Austin Dine and then Bucky Lassick. 3 different types of car make up the front row. Then, on row 2, we have got the championship leader, Nelson Piquet Jr., Patrick Sandell, and also Tanner Faust. Sandell and Faust, they've won already this season in 2014. Then, onto the third row, YouTube sensation, Ken Block. He won last time out brilliantly in Charlotte, ahead of Johnny Weeman and Sverre Isaksson with his Subaru. And at the rear of the field, it's Scott Speed, the man second in the title chase. And that car is somehow held together.
We're heading into the main event, and the thing looks like it's already run a 24-hour race. It has been rough and tumble through the heats here, and it's an emotional roller coaster that takes place in about 36 hours. It's crazy.
This is the final here in Daytona for Red Bull Global Rallycross. Round 6 of 10. We're riding on board with Scott Speed. Now we're alongside Austin Dine. He's in the middle of the front row. To his right-hand side is Reese Millen. To his left is Bucky Lassick. Millen's car has been so strong throughout this weekend. Will it work? Over 8 laps. We're underway. Who is going to take the Joker? It's going to be Reese Millen, who immediately takes the Joker. And they stream through. PK comes through to second position. Austin Dine in third, but not for long. It's going to be Ken Block who uses the superior power of his Ford Fiesta to come through. As they come through the hairpin for the first time.
Patrick Sandell got turned on the straightaway, just narrowly missed the gantry that was holding up the finish line. Be interesting to see that brings it. And more chaos behind. Lassick gets jostled around.
Through the dust they come, but I can tell you it's Millen that's leading from Austin Dine as they jump over the jump for the first time. There is Dine in second place. Third is Ken Block, PK Jr. looking left, looking right, nudging Block. He then nudges the back of Austin Dine's car that's got the bodywork rubbing on that rear tire already. Will that cause a problem?
It's rubbing pretty hard. There's enough tire smoke, but I guarantee you he is not going to stop.
No, there's no way you can stop. Still, as they feed through the far end of this long 1 mile length course, look at the tyre smoke as the bodywork rubs on Austin Dine's rear right tyre. Surely will it be able to last for the remaining 7 laps? Millen still leads.
Johnny Weeman takes the Joker, and he's going to slide through. Looks like he's going to slot in at about 4th place. Block making a bit down the inside of the straight car, overshoots it. Dine crosses back underneath. Weeman gets held up and loses a spot.
Millen goes through. Dine second, Block third. Weeman, as you say, Tommy, starting getting up there. Bucky Lassick gets bumped with his orange Subaru for 5th position. As now Ken Block has a maneuver, but he locks the rear wheels as he pulls the handbrake to try and get the car turned, and it works. Block up to second. Can he replicate what he did at Charlotte last time out and get the victory? Big hill to climb with Millen leading.
And here's Dine wearing out the back of Block, and look.
Whoa, close.
He's a hard racer. He wasn't going to let that go easily. And in the back, I mean, this is music to Reese Millen's ears because he's able to just put his head down and run some fast laps in this logjam behind him keeps anyone from being able to be close enough to leapfrog him with. And Bucky Lasek, who started up front and saved his joker.
And he goes up into third position. So Lasek's joker worked perfectly. He had a clear run through the shortcut, the joker lap. They can only take it once in a race. And when they've taken the joker, then it goes coloured, as you can see at the top of your screen. So Millen's taken it, Block's taken it, Lasek et al. As we look back through the murk, through the dust, in the middle of this heat wave here in Florida at Daytona, Lasek, what a brilliant run he's done to take that shortcut at the right time.
And I talked with the Subaru team manager, Ken Reese, and he said that Bucky shows up early. He's not just doing this for publicity or something to do to earn a few bucks. He really wants to become a racer, and he wants to be involved in every conference call, every meeting. And look at this, he's running in a podium spot with a talent-stacked experience field.
Bucky Lasek, he won X Games gold at every single X Games last year in 2013 with Skateboard Vert, X Games hero. But even yesterday he said, I've never worked so hard in my life as a global rallycross. Backing up what you're saying, Tommy, about his commitment. Now we're on board with Scott Speed, and he has got some tyres rubbing on the bodywork to his rear right. This is the battle for 5th and 6th position. How can they see where they're going?
Well, they can't. And everyone, look at that, a big body slam on his teammate.
Faust on the outside of that one, but Tanner Faust, two-time global rallycross champion, fights back as he leaps over the jump, and Tanner Faust, I reckon, is in 5th position now.
We talked about that battle in New York, about it heating up between the two teammates, and that even though you need to play nice, that's the most direct comparison for a race car driver. You got to run quicker than your teammate, and now the reason Speed's so desperate is the points leader is behind him. PK running at 7th, so he's trying to make up some ground.
Nelson Piquet Jr. leading the championship at the moment by 45 points. There's 50 points available for the victory, so he's pretty well assured of leading when we leave Daytona before we go to Los Angeles. There is your leader with the Hyundai Veloster. That is Reese Millen. Second is then Ken Block, who turns the car on the asphalt before it gets on to the dirt. And is Ken Block reeling in Reese Millen? That's the next question.
It looks to be about constant to me, and it's like a new Reese Millen. They've made some big development. They had a problem with their shock. Weaving with a flat left rear. Weekend started out so great, sweeping the first 2 heats, and was leading the semi when his car stopped on him in that middle of the hairpin, caused that jam, and so he's going to try to soldier on with the flat tire.
This is Piquet Jr. at the rear of the field, battling with Weeman, and Weeman tries to make that Ford Fiesta as wide as possible. Bits of rubber and flapping away and destroying the bodywork. That's going to be a very slow end to his race.
If you've been watching all of our races this year, you can see guys actually can make decent time on the dirt with a flat tire, but that all ends when you get to the pavement. Really, really costly time-wise.
Yeah, I remember Doran winning in Munich last year with a flat on his Mini and winning in the wet there. A brilliantly controlled drive, but that was a predominantly dirt track rather than the 70% asphalt that we've got here. I reckon Block is going to really push Reese Millen towards the end of the last and 8th lap here at Daytona, but Reese Millen hasn't he done a superb job with that car, setting it up so that he's got the, well, really into the ascendancy at the moment in GRC, leading this race from the word go.
Well, and yesterday he had gotten around Scott Speed heads up past what most people think is the quickest guy in the series. Car broke, so they had to stay up all night for an engine change. He won his first semi of the year right before this, and now he's leading the final. It's a definite big momentum boost for the Reese Millen Motorsports team.
Bucky Lasek trying to keep Tanner Faust behind him. What a drive that Lasek is doing, but Tanner Faust, he's fighting back, touching 120 miles an hour as we come through past some debris, probably from Johnny Weeman's car. Oh, that was a little bit deep into the corner.
He defended, he broke on the inside to defend and got in too hot, and that's all Tanner Faust needed.
So, this is the battle for 3rd position. Oh, and Faust went too tight into the corner and goes. That's Dine who slammed into the side of the Volkswagen Polo of Tanner Faust. And that's rotten luck for Austin Dine.
Oh, and Faust's car is broken. Speed's up on the barriers. I think the rear suspension is broken.
That was a big hit, Tommy. I don't know if it could survive.
This is just bedlam.
So then, let us not forget as we see Speed on the tyres. So Scott Speed has gone on top of the tyres. That is Scott Speed in real trouble, and this could really change the championship as we come into the closing part of this 2014 season. But we've got one more lap to go here at Daytona, and Reese Millen, he's been working on the differentials. He's completely rebuilt the suspension and shock absorbers. He's so strong on the brakes, and he's just got half a lap to go. And that looks like Austin Dine's car that's pulled off just before the start line. Goodness me.
It's safe to say it is not over till it's over. These heats last about 8 minutes, but it's like an hour's worth of action.
Reese Millen chasing the victory. Meanwhile, another Red Bull car, that's the tire exploded on Johnny Weeman's car. This is where it did explode, and the bits of the bodywork flew off. They're in the middle of the racetrack. Weeman is at the back of the field. Meanwhile, here is the man who led from the start. He took the joker right from the word go. It's Reese Millen, former Pikes Peak record holder. His own business prepares these cars at Huntington Beach in California, and he's led from start to finish. They put an engine in, they took until well after midnight until they got it, but it's worked out brilliantly because Reese Millen wins here at Daytona ahead of Ken Block. Block on the podium for the second GRC on the trot. Next up, it's going to be Bucky Lassick, making it 3 different manufacturers in the first 3 places here in the heatwave of Florida. What a win for Reese Millen. That is a champion's drive ahead of Ken Block. What a way to celebrate the lows of yesterday for Millen. What a race we've had here at Daytona. Fantastic. In 2014, we've had now 5 winners from 6 rounds in GRC, Reese Millen being the latest.
What an incredible race for you, Reese. Your first series win. What does it mean to do it at such an iconic venue?
Yeah, just amazing with how strong the car was coming here this weekend. To have the troubles of blowing an engine yesterday with a cam belt failure, but the car was on point. We had the fastest car here this weekend. Had some respectable driving from the other competitors up front, and we did what we set out to do 3 years ago. Hyundai Red Bull #1.
Yeah!
#1 indeed. Congratulations.
Nelson Piquet Jr. continues to lead the title chase, but Ken Block has leapt from 5th to 2nd position. From Toby Moody and Tommy Kendall, it's goodbye from Daytona.